What's up, Tackle Warehouse fans? Walker back for this week's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. The fall months are already here. We're starting to get colder, and we've got some colder winter months on the way. A lot of these baits are going to play right in that fall transition. When those fish are feeding up on bait fish, they're going around hunting, they're feeding up before it gets super, super cold, and they become really lethargic. We're going to jump right into this week's episode with a couple minnow-style baits that are going to play right into that fall season. And the first one is going to be from Fish or Die Bait Company. This is the Shiv Minnow. Super nice little naturalistic bait fish imitation. It's got some really cool ribbing on there. What I really like about it is when it comes to like almost a V cut. It starts with a normal minnow style, rounded top, and then it comes really, really narrow there in the belly section. You're gonna be able to roll this minnow really nicely. It's also got some flanges near the tail section. It's gonna hover really nicely. It's gonna just be dancing around down there, enticing some big, big bites. Like I said, from Fish or Die Bait Company, this is the Shiv Minnow. Jumping right over, this is the Live Motion Minnow. Again, same kind of premise here, just a natural imitation of a bait fish. This one though has some ribs on it that's going to create a lot of vibration under the water. It's going to displace a lot of water and key in on those fish's lateral lines, make them feel the bait when it's dancing around through the water. It's also got some nice broken up tail section here, and so that's going to allow that bait to just really, really become alive under the surface. Your tail is going to have a nice back and forth action whenever you shake your minnow. It's going to be moving around really erratically. And you can also just hover this in place, get it there right in front of their nose using that forward-facing sonar and just entice them to strike on it. Again, in that same vein, fall months, man, fish are absolutely chasing around bait fish, and there's no better way to catch them than topwater, in my opinion. This is the all-new Berkley Screamin Choppo topwater bait. A lot of people are familiar with the Choppo. Super, super fantastic bait. Catches a lot of fish and has probably caught more big fish than a lot of the baits that I've thrown. But this one here, the Screamin Choppo, is just a new addition to that lineup. We've got a little metal rivet there in the tail, so when it's coming through the water, it's not only making that signature plopping noise, but you've got a nice metal rivet that's going to be making a screeching, kind of that metal on metal sound to just gain a couple more bites, just get another little added level of attraction. So again, that Choppo is a fish catcher, and this is going to be a great addition to that lineup. All right, next up, from Copper Red Baits, we've got the Snatch and Shad. Now this one here is the rattling version. There's no better way to catch fish in those colder months than a lipless crankbait. One of the more fun, most aggressive strikes you can have is gonna be on a lipless crankbait. The Copper Red Baits here is this is the rattling version. It's gonna make a lot of noise. It's gonna be, very, very attractive under the water, sitting off a lot of vibration. Paint job is absolutely fantastic. Really excited about this one, but they also have a silent version. And what's really cool about this little guy is they've actually taken this bait and filled it with a little bit of oil and some sparkle, some glitter, some flash. So you're getting a two-tone presentation. You're getting the natural, paint job of that, but also having that oil and flash coming up for an added level of attraction. It's going to be able to move back and forth and just give something those fish haven't seen before as the lipless crankbait's coming through the water, the oil and the flash moving back and forth. Really excited about that. Copper Red Baits, that's the Snatch and Shad rattling and the silent version. As we get a little colder, those fish are going to become lethargic. They're going to be wanting finesse presentations. They're going to be hunting stuff on the bottom, and that's right where some of these next baits are going to come into play. This one from Big Bite Baits is the new size of the Sensation Worm. This one's coming in at 6.5 inches. Really, really great presentation for a drop shot, for a shaky head, Texas rig, Carolina rig. Any way you want to throw a finesse worm, this is going to absolutely put fish in the boat. It's a great presentation. It's got a really nice natural lifelike action on the bottom. Really good buoyancy, kind of like a neutral buoyancy bait where it's going to float real nicely. It's not going to absolutely float. It's just going to hover down and catch a lot of big fish. I don't know how many fish we've caught on this over the years, but it's a staple to have in your arsenal, especially this time of year. It's just a finesse worm, and the Sensation Worm from Big Bite Baits is no exception to that rule. Moving over to another Big Bite Baits, we have the all-new Fighting Craw. What they've done here is they've actually taken a fighting frog style, legs, which is a great bait. I've caught a lot of big fish on the fighting frog, whether it's punching or bed fishing, and they've actually added those legs to a beaver style body. So it's a really cool bait. It's gonna, those ribs of a beaver are gonna put off a ton of vibration. You can punch this, you can drag it, you can use it as a jig trailer, you can throw it by itself on a wobble head, you can Carolina rig it. There's not a wrong way to fish this. That is gonna absolutely put fish in the boat for me this season. I'm gonna be excited when I catch a couple flipping and punching on this. We don't get to do that a ton down here in Georgia, but there's definitely some scenarios where this is gonna play, and I can't wait to use that all new Fighting Craw from Big Bite Baits in those scenarios. All right, next up, still within that same craw family. This one from NACO, this is the Snapping Crawl. And if you guys aren't familiar with NACO Soft Plastics, it's a fantastic bait company. They make plastics that are built to last. Really, really, buoyant, really, really stretchy. They're not gonna rip, they're not gonna tear, and they come out with some great designs. The Snapping Crawl is an absolute player in that category. It's got those nice little ribbed appendages for the craws. It's they've got nice two-tone colorways. You could rig this on a Ned rig. You could use it as a finesse jig trailer. You could throw it even by itself, maybe on a light Texas rig, however you wanted to do it. Super, super finesse presentation. And a lot of times guys are throwing, either those extremes whenever it gets cold, either the really, really big baits or the really, really small baits. And for whatever reason, they both catch fish. Now the big baits obviously is, those fish are slow, they're looking for a big meal, but also it's not a lot of energy for those fish to expend to eat something like this. So you're gonna get not only a ton of bites, you're gonna get the right bites with this soft plastic too. Super excited about that one as well, the Snapping Crawl from NACO Baits. Now one that's near and dear to my heart, this one here is from West Coast Baits. This is the all new size of the Roma trout. I've been a big fan of the Roma trout for a long time. We got them in at Tackle Warehouse a little while ago, but we had the 7 and 9 inch versions. Now we've got the all new 6 inch version. Great bait. I've caught not a ton of fish, but I've caught some absolute giants on this bait. Now this one here, I'm excited for because I think it's gonna put just a couple more fish in the boat for me. I'm gonna get a lot of size, but also a lot of fish out of this bait. It's a really, really lifelike profile. There's a couple different rigging methods you can check out on our website and West Coast Baits website. My favorite is probably the top hook design. We're using nail weights. You can rig a top hook on there and just slide some nail weights in the belly, and it swims absolutely perfect along the bottom. You can creep it along, and all of a sudden your rod just goes thump, and it is an absolute giant every time. New size of that Roma trout by West Coast Baits. You're obviously gonna need a rod and reel to throw this season as well. No better reel to throw than the all-new Lew's KVD Elite casting reel. This is a great reel. It's one of the first Lew's reels that's at an entry level, kind of that not break the bank price point to feature their Paramag braking system. I've been a fan of the Paramag braking system ever since it came out. I'm getting longer casts, I'm getting less backlash, a smoother all-around reel, and this KVD Elite features that system. Really excited about that, and it's in a fantastic red colorway. Gonna be a great player for you this season. Now to pair with that reel, they also came out with the new Lew's KVD Elite casting rods. Great rod. It's got the signature Lew's IM8 blank. It features a resin concentrated blank technology. It's got a little bit longer of a handle, and it's got that all contact reel seat where that blank actually shows through. Gonna be a little bit more sensitive, and it makes for an aesthetically pleasing rod. Really excited about both those. They're gonna pair really well for this season, and you're gonna catch a lot of big fish on this. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this week's episode of What's New Tackle Warehouse. We covered a bunch of great baits, rods, reels for the fall and winter transition. If you guys liked any of the product we showed in this week's episode, make sure you head on over to tacklewarehouse.com to check them out with a full range of our other products.